Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you're catching this in the morning. It is really, really late. That's right. It's 2:15 a.m. Sunday morning. We have the file ready, and this is for subscribers first. You'll get this. If you are not a subscriber to this file, you'll see this after the games start on Monday. I, of course, will be at the Dolphins game because why not? And that means the Dolphins will probably win. Although my streak broke tonight, I was at the Panthers hockey game, and the home team had won every game I'd been to this year, football, hockey, everything, even baseball, I think, earlier in the year. But the Panthers lost in overtime. Oh, man, bummer. So we'll see if we can continue our run. Although we did have a minor hiccup in the home team always wins when I'm in the building. So let's talk about the games here this Sunday. So we've got an early game. I believe that's in England. The Titans and Chargers. Really likes the Chargers heavily. 33% in win strength there. Big score, 39-17. So it even thinks they're going to cover the spread. Those games in England tend to be kind of weird. I like that a lot. I think Chargers to win, maybe even the Chargers minus 6.5 is probably a good idea there. So consider that. At 1 p.m., now here's where it gets interesting. So you got the Patriots and the Bears. It likes the Bears in win strength, 9%, and it also likes the Bears in point score there. The Bears have a applied home factor of 1.09 there, and the Patriots' road factor is obviously less than at Foxborough. So if you change those around, it gets to be closer. It can be like a 27-23 game, or maybe even very close if you get rid of the away factor for the Patriots. It's kind of a stay-away game. The line's not that great for the Bears against the Pats. I think the Pats are kind of playing a little better now, so I'm tempted to stay away from that. It's just a really, really tough game to pick. So I would consider, unless you're a huge fan, the Bears might win that game, but the 105 is just not good enough to risk it. I think the Pats can obviously win that game. So probably a stay away. Cleveland and Tampa Bay. Likes Cleveland, likes a really high-scoring game there. Look at those offensive scores there, 5.3 and 6.4. No defense on the Bucks. Cleveland's defense a little better, but not great. Cleveland's on the road. Their road factor is not solid. Tampa Bay's home factor is about even. Special teams on Cleveland's. I like the over in that game, and I guess I like Cleveland because they're favored there in point predictions. They're favored there in win percentage. And they're at a plus 168, so I guess we take the Browns. As much as I said we'd be betting against the Browns all year, it does like the Browns there, so there are multiple reasons to take them. I think that's not a bad pick. The over and the Browns, that's what I would say to do. Detroit and Miami, I'm going to be there, so got to go with Miami. Miami's favored in win strength. Miami's favored in point prediction. It's because they got a heavy special teams. Their defense is better than the Lions. They pulled a crazy one out at home against the Bears last week. Plus 145 looks like a great pick, so I guess we go with Miami on the money line there. And probably looking at an over in that game as well. Weather's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow, so it's going to be warm, but it should be nice. So, look for a lot of points in that game. And I would take Miami. Carolina and the Eagles. This is a stay away, in my opinion. The Eagles are heavily favored from Vegas. They're minus 240, minus 5 on the spread. The win strength there, 4%. It's almost a toss-up. It does like the Eagles in the point predictions, 32-26. You're attenuating Carolina's road factor there at 0.86. Philly's home factor is actually 0.93. They're not even at a 1. A tough game. I really think you got to stay away from that. Anything can happen there. Cam's going to come off of that pissy loss to the Skins that I was at last week. So I would say stay away from that game as well. It's just too tough to pick, in my opinion. Buffalo and Indianapolis. So Indianapolis heavily favored, 7-point spread. Looks like a low-scoring game. Perhaps the under is probably the best pick in that game because you're only at 4 or negative 4% in the win strength. Colts have a lot of turnovers. Buffalo could force them with that 3.52 on defense. Both their special teams are kind of lackluster. Buffalo's offense really struggles there. That's why I consider the under in that game and probably not playing a winner because you can see those lines are not great and nobody wants to take Buffalo in that game. They could pull it out because Indianapolis has issues, but I just think that the under is probably the best play there. Minnesota, I have a brand new tablet, by the way. This Acer tablet is just phenomenal. So let's look at Minnesota and the Jets. Here's a game where it's favoring the Jets in win strength, but point predictions are favoring Minnesota. That's because you have a home factor for the Jets is 1.03. You're attenuating the Minnesota road factor, which is still giving them a point prediction where they beat the Jets. Tough call. I think maybe the Jets plus 3.5 there is the play, given that we have them close with point prediction and they have the win strength advantage. Close to a stay away, but maybe take the Jets. I would not normally think that. Although, I take it back. I don't think that's a good pick either way, because you can see the offensive factor for Minnesota is pretty strong. Their defense is better. It's just the Jets' special teams. Could be a weird fight. Tough call. I really actually don't like a lot of what's going on in that game. It's pretty conflicting. So probably stay away there too. Houston and Jacksonville. So this is interesting. Look at the point prediction. It really thinks Houston's going to roll 32-13. Jacksonville's got a lot of red there. Red on the offense, meaning offensive score is terrible. I know there's been a lot of Blake Bortles talk. Defense on Jacksonville is miserable. I don't think it's just injuries. I think they're just terrible, and their special teams is almost non-existent. So I don't understand why they're favored by win strength. Maybe it was a strong start to the season, but I'm tempted to say take that 175 on Houston money line to win, even though our win strength is -6, because our point predictions were phenomenal last week, and I would. It's such a disparity in score that I think you just got to take Houston on the money line, because, I mean, you could take Houston +4, but I would take Houston on the money line based on what we're seeing in point predictions. So that's an interesting pick at a decent line. You got the Saints and the Ravens, two teams with some offense and little defense. Special teams on the Ravens is almost twice as good, I guess, as the Saints. You see that 41-40 score. Ravens are favored. -149 is not the best line. I'd rather take the over in that game because it's predicting 81 points due to the lack of defense. So if you don't take a winner there, I would say take the over. Dallas and the Skins. Dallas slightly favored in point score. This is a huge rivalry. I think that Dallas will win that game, even though I'm a Skins fan. -130 is a reasonable line. I'd probably take Dallas there, even though the win strength's not that great at 3%. But it'll be a close game. Under's not a bad pick in that game, I feel like. And Dallas probably going to win that game. Rams and Niners. You want to take the Rams at -385. I wouldn't mess with the spread, even though the point scorer is saying it's possible. Rams offense solid. The Niners, they'll give up a fight. I like the over in that game too, by the way. As you can see, those defenses are not all that great, and their special teams are strong. Offense and special teams are strong on both of those teams. So over's a good bet, and the Rams on money line I also like as well. Cincinnati and the Chiefs. It likes the Chiefs by win strength, likes the Chiefs with point predictions. Chiefs strong offense, as we know. Those two defenses align nicely, about the same, and they're also not great defenses. And then special teams for Cincinnati seems to be a little better. I don't know what's wrong with Kansas City's special teams. It's brutal. So I do think Kansas City wins that game. -250, not a good line. With such point scoring, I don't want to say take the spread. I kind of want to say take the over there, but I think the Chiefs on the money line, maybe you can pay that $250. They're going to come off that loss to New England last week and probably come up with a win against Cincinnati, and there will be points in that game, so probably over in Chiefs. And then Monday night, it looks like it likes the Falcons at home, probably to cover the spread based on the way the Giants have been playing, although the Falcons do not have defense. So could look at the over on Monday night as well due to a lot of points. So that's what we've got for week 7 so far. If you want to subscribe to the file and get a copy of this thing before it comes out, go to kenbraverman.com, and I think I'm going to be doing $20 a week now for the file now that we're getting into week 7, the heart of the season. And the season subscription will still be $100 because it'll be $20 a week now instead of $10. So there we go. May your picks be winning.